Hey there, my name's Danny Leibrandt, and welcome back to Pest Control Success Stories, where we interview the people crushing it in our Pest Control Millionaires program. Today, I'm joined by Nick Russler, the founder of Honorable Pest Control out of Michigan. Nick's built his business around doing things the right way, combining integrity, customer service, and environmentally responsible treatments that are safe for families and pets. His company has quickly become known in the Ann Arbor and Lansing areas for its professional approach and strong reputation in the community. In this episode, we'll talk about how Nick got started, when or what it took to build trust in a competitive market, and how he's grown Honorable Pest Control with a focus on doing things the right way by both his customers and his team. Now, without further ado, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother.
Of course, man. So I want to dive a little bit into your journey and background. And we were talking a little bit about before the show. It seems like you've had like a crazy roller coaster of events, of how you eventually started this company and how the company's going. Can you
Yeah.
first tell me how you originally got into pest control?
Yeah, so my dad and I own a couple of funeral homes, and I was actually getting myself out of pest control. So it would have been March of 2024. My dad came to me, he's like, "Hey, I want to give this to somebody," and it's in Tampa, Florida, and I live in Michigan. So I was still working for a pest control company. And so what I was doing is phasing myself out because so I would fly once a month for a week to Florida while they were trying to find another technician.
Hmm.
So around June, so about 3 months of me doing that, the owner of the pest control company I was working for came to me and he's like, "Hey, um, I'm gonna have one of the other technicians take over the company. Not, I guess not really take over the company, run it while I move to Tennessee. I want to start another company." So I'm like, "Okay, well, why don't you sell it to me?" And he came up with an absurd number that it was not even worth a third of that. So once I actually started doing my due diligence of what pest control companies can make, and then he turned me down on my offer. So he wanted like 3 million. I was willing to pay like 1 million. Um, I went to the next biggest competitor in here where I lived in Jackson County. Um, and we agreed on a price. Once we came to open up the books, his wife's like, no, because they're like 80% cash, so he couldn't get what he wanted. So I essentially was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to do pest control. So I went out on my route. It was either that same week that I got turned down or the next week. I've been spraying a guy for 5 years, and he asked me like, why don't you create your own? I'm like, well, I don't have money to create my own, but I've flipped a lot of houses. I can syndicate deals. I would have just raised the money, for the pest control company, but I didn't. I told him I didn't have, a couple hundred grand to start up my own pest control company.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Well, I'll give you the money to start it up." So
Yeah.
we sat down for a couple months, got everything, and we opened up the doors November 1st of 24. The caveat was in my area, I had to not compete.
Hmm.
So that was actually almost a complete deal breaker. So now I have to create my own business started an hour away from my home where I had, no friends. I knew absolutely nobody.
Hmm.
So it was literally a clean slate. But, I'm 10 months in. I have, two other trucks on the road, front office, and a sales guy. So, I mean, it works. It's just, um, business is, is wonderful. If you, and I say that because it's hard. It's a lot of
Hmm.
work, a lot of 100-hour weeks. It's a lot of, um, all nighters, but, it's now 11 months in and, it's, I can breathe a little bit.
Hmm.
10 months.
Okay. Yeah. No, well, that's good at least, because I'm sure those, I mean, basically the past 10, 11 months, you've just been straight hustling. And also you didn't mention this, but so the audience knows, you said a month or two ago you did 70K in a month after starting less than a year ago, which is like that's a number that most people have been trying to hit for 10 or maybe even 20 years. So, I mean, you guys have been growing super fast.
Yeah. So it's a lot with the marketing that's working, but it's a lot of referrals. It's a lot of networking events. Dude, it's a conglomerate of stuff. I don't want to say it's luck, but you know, it's a lot of cold sales, apartment complexes, and getting ginormous contracts from companies that are very, very well known that everybody knows on here that that are I'm landing billion-dollar companies that a 10-month-old company should not be landing because we do what we say we're going to do. We're going to show up, you know, on the actual day in the actual time frame, and take care of their roaches and bed bugs and fleas. It's like if you could actually just do the what you're going to say, it's crazy what you actually can do in this business.
Hmm. Go deeper on that more because I mean I'm sure I think you said like $10 million businesses. I mean, how are you approaching those clients and closing them?
um, a lot of it is just driving the property manager nuts. It's kind of so like this specific apartment complex. It's called McKinley Properties. It's 6,000 units between 20 apartment complexes. They're all monsters. They're huge. They're all infested. The biggest company out there can't seem to, you know, take care of the issue, which is
Mm.
mind-boggling to me, or even show up for weeks on end.
Mhm.
And so I come in, I'm like, hey, can I have your worst unit? And let me at least show you what I can do for free at each apartment complex. Pick whatever you want, whether if it's roaches, bed bugs, fleas. I don't care, spiders. Like whatever your worst spider one is, like or even 5 of them. Like how else are you going to prove yourself? You know, than to do stuff for free. And then
Mm.
now it's a $400,000 contract that I do for the year. But
Mhm.
I've done it to probably 30, 40 other apartment complexes that are not, not with this one. And I mean, just because I mean, everybody knows like doing a bed bug treatment, it costs you 10, $15. Like it's just 10, $15 to get $300,000 contract.
Mm.
Like it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, but it was hard at first because I had 2 Google reviews. Nobody knew who I was. I have a market with 50 other pest control companies in it. Like, my odds were in my favor to not win.
Mhm.
But if you can just every day, not necessarily just go to them every day, but grinding till 2, 3 in the morning of creating your best offer. You know, how can I tailor this to fit best for this client or this client or this client? Like it's a grind, but it works. I mean, I'm
Mm.
proof right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I really respect that. And like I said, I think you would hit it regardless, but you've just the revenue levels that you've hit them so fast because you're working so hard. And I think there's something to be said about that compound effect, right? That snowball effect.
Yep.
You seems like you
Yep.
built up a lot of momentum.
Well, not everybody wants to be in the apartment game, and I don't even want to be in the apartment game, but I have to at this stage in my company. I'm hoping once spring hits, I can start phasing apartment complexes out. Just to I want to focus more on just straight residential. And then, like restaurants or, office places, anything without units pretty much.
So explain why you want to get out of apartments.
So the the amount of callbacks that you get from, bad tenants, nobody preps correctly.
Mm.
There's no accountability for the property managers. What like today I went, I didn't go. One of my techs went and did all the note like we use field routes. Nobody likes using the portal, which is wonderful, especially property managers. So they're all like, well, did your tech even go? Like in the we're used to the other, place to flip all the, furniture in the bed bug treatment. Like we try to put back stuff so it doesn't look like we were there.
Mm.
Because a lot of them are older people. Like they can't flip their stuff back over, but no,
Mm.
it looks too perfect for us to even be in there. Like what do you want
That's
me to do?
insane.
Put a camera on their chest so you can see that here's the footage?
Mm.
But because one thing that we're doing too that a lot of companies don't do is we're trying to change up a lot of chemicals because of a lot of the resistance.
Mm.
And so, we pride ourselves on trying to do the best treatment, but when we go into a lot of these places and we don't know what the other pest control company is treating with, we can't get rid of the issue right away. So then they're
Mm.
like, well, what is going on? Well, now we're comparing chemicals and, well, what did they use here? What did we use? It's not always fun. When you go into just a normal house that's never had any chemicals in it, like a residential house, like it's 9 times out of 10, it's a one-time treatment.
Mm.
And, it's their money they're playing with. It's not the apartment complex. So they actually take you serious.
Yeah.
Um, like another thing too is they'll give us like 15 units and nobody's prepped and nobody's ready. So now they're wasting the text time of, well, I got to get out. Oh, it's just such a waste of time. Yes, there's a lot of money in it, but I think there's a lot more money in residential, and you can have a tech make more, I think, in residential.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're about 50% of commercial, that's pretty much all apartments. Then you're
Mhm.
50% residential. So what are you looking to do then? You're gonna kind of phase out of those apartment contracts?
Yeah. So I don't really. That's another thing that I have actually learned in this group is get like these big apartment complexes. I should have done contracts,
Mm.
but
Oh.
not one of them I have an actual contract on.
Dang.
So it's a live and you learn. I mean, 10 months in, I haven't got in trouble yet from it, but honestly, if they drop me, I wouldn't even care. But they're not dropping me because I'm actually showing up and getting rid of their issues. But I will say, bringing on technicians is a whole lot more trouble. Not
Mm.
necessarily trouble, but it's just a lot more phone calls, a lot more, is he actually at the job? Is he doing a good job? Like, like for me, like I pride myself, especially like this is how I grew so fast is like, I'm very critical on how I treat, like,
Mhm.
very good placement, getting rid of obviously getting rid of the issue and doing a good job. Like, do I even know that they're doing a good job? So it's a little different.
Mm. I want to dive a little bit more into starting the company. So you got a $200,000 investment from one of the people you're actually servicing from your previous company that you're working at.
Correct.
What did that 200K go into? What did you use?
So I didn't pull the 200,000. It's not like he just like dropped it on me. It was, I can pull up to that, but
Mm.
like I had to make a full performa. Hey, this is what my marketing is going to cost. This is what, truck costs, soft costs, hard costs, insurance, whatever. So I originally went with a marketing company right off the rip that was like 9,000 a month. Um, and they were doing all my social media. They were doing Google Ads, LSA, my website, all that kind of stuff. Um, didn't work. It didn't work at all. And I'm not a marketing guy. Like as you can tell, it took us 20 minutes for me to hook my computer up today. I
Yeah.
I am on tech savvy. Like if I could just do carbon paper and hand receipts, like I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
So they didn't work out. I had to fire them after I spent 50 grand on them.
So the,
Essentially that.
the problem was they just weren't generating leads? How
No,
did it go?
cost per lead was like $300. Or cost per
Jeez.
conversion was $300.
Okay.
Um, which would be fine if I was doing just termite jobs for $10,000. But my at the time I was doing a lot of one-time treatments which were $290. So I was literally breaking even. Actually, I
Mm.
was losing money because I had to go out there and service it and use chemicals in my car and gas. So other than commercial, I made no money.
Wow.
So once I because they were always just telling me like, hey, dude, you're like on the cusp of just exploding. Like, you still can't get my leads under your conversions under $300. Like
Hmm.
less, because I'm okay with spending, 125, 150, especially if it's, we're talking $1,000 contracts, for a subscription for residential. But then again, at that time, I really didn't know how to really fully work that either. You know, now that, since I'm in this program, it taught me to do this subscription side more than one-time treatment. Um, I'm, well, I'm kind of forgetting where I'm going with this, but
No,
yeah,
no, you're good. You're good.
I end up losing bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um, yeah, no, let's go deeper on the program. So, I believe you joined, what was it? June, I'm pretty sure.
yes.
And kind of funny, you said before the call, and I wrote this down. You said that joining the program and, listening to the stuff we say flipped your business upside down, but in a good way. What do you mean by that?
So I was heavy on one-time treatments. So as in Bees Nest 290, I didn't push. Like one thing Jonas did for me was um take my Bees Nest to $500 and then push my subscription, so I can lock them in for a year,
Hmm.
essentially. I was just essentially just trying to generate as much cash as I could. And then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, I'll just figure this out later. Well,
Hmm.
uh, it worked, but it didn't work because now I got 500 customers that just was one time, and now they won't move to a or to a contract because I missed my window of opportunity. But um, so moving to subscriptions, and I was doing my subscriptions completely wrong.
Hmm.
So I was charging way too low on my subscriptions. So right now, like my bread and butter subscription's like $1,100 a year. Yeah, I'm charging 600. So
Wow, you doubled.
I pretty much doubled. And not only that, he had me put in mice into it as well. Um, I was also running subscriptions where I had like mosquitoes built in, and these people were paying year round. Well, now I'm seeing that these, mosquito season is pretty much ending now. All the mosquito subscriptions that are built into the house are like, hey, we don't need mosquitoes. Like, we don't want it at all now. So
Hmm.
now I'm trying to backtrack, trying to get them on a normal subscription with mice because I sold a lot of those, and my churn is massive on that. So now he's having me do bundles for between May and October.
Okay.
Paying that window. And so once I made that switch, and then like I tried to make those customers that were on that subscription, they're like, no, we don't want to pay, $120 per treatment. Now we're only paying $30 pretty much
Yeah.
every time you come out. Yeah. So it was hard pill to swallow, but now we're on the right path. Um, yeah. So now we have a bigger subscription that we're selling a lot more of. Now we're not really doing one time. So our conversion our conversion to a subscription went up probably 400% compared to what it was before the program. Um,
Wow.
just from fixing the subscription correctly with Jake and Jonas, and then inflating my prices on one time, so it didn't make sense to do it one time anymore
Hmm.
for them to come over.
Interesting. Okay. Do you have like a specific offer around that? Have you created, is there like a go-to, $500, then $100 a month or something?
So
Is there a certain bundle?
yes, so it depends on what it is. Carpenter ants, like we'll just say carpenter ants. My carpenter ants are 340 before. Now they're 500. So no, they're 520.
Mhm.
So not only that, like a follow-up treatment is 250. So you're pretty much $750 in. And like I explained, like, hey, with carpenter ants, there's like a 40% chance that I'm gonna have to come back and do a follow-up. And you're already
Mm.
paying $520. Like if I was you, I would do the subscription because now I can spray the exterior of your house, the interior of your house. There's a full insurance policy on the house if you have issues in between. So we treat your house every 60 days year round. So we do 6 treatments a year, which I'm still arguing with Jonas on that, but we're moving forward.
Yeah.
So bi-monthly treatments year round, and you get mice included. So you don't have to worry about mice. Like, it's a full home protection. And, if there still is ants after this treatment, you just call me, or I just can schedule it right now. Hey, for 3 weeks out, I'll just come back and at least check. And it's $165 to start instead of $520 to start. And like, you're already halfway going to be paying for, you know, of this, of the honorable shield consider.
Yeah, yeah, love that. Okay, that makes sense. And I also wanted to ask you about hiring. So I believe you told me you have a few techs now. Is that right, or where were you at with employees?
Yeah. So I coached high school wrestling for 5 years, and one of the kids graduated this year, and he's one of the hardest working kids I've ever seen. Very, very honest, very smart kid, and I bagged him. And so he only committed to doing just the summer. So he was going to go to firefighting school. And so I only pay straight commission. I don't pay hourly, nothing. So if you sell a job and you do a crappy job, then you got to go retreat. That's on you. So the amount of commission that I'm paying, and I ChatGPT'd this, but the average technician makes $48,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I pay 20% commission on all jobs. So, he has a chance to make $120,000 a year as a technician at Honorable. So we ended up doing $15,000 worth of work one week, and he saw his 1 week check, and he was like, so you're telling me I'm going to go be a firefighter and make $50,000 a year, and I'm being paid $3,000 this week?
Yeah.
So he literally quit the day that he had firefighter school.
Wow.
Yeah. So he quit me. I told him hey man, cause I honestly truly love this kid. This kid's awesome. And I've coached him. I saw him pretty much grow up with all of high school, and I'm like, man, we can really make this grow. Cause I'm trying to do in time. I want people to work for equity in my company. I want people to take full ownership. And I'm telling them, I'm like, dude, you obviously saw what 1 week can do for you, and you have the chance to, take ownership in this company. And this thing's going $100 million, whether you're in it or not.
Yeah.
So you can either go fight fires, which is cool. I'm not knocking it, or you can become rich. What do you want? So, and I don't know. I just last second, I threw a couple things at him too. I guess you're not manly enough to do pest control. I end up getting him. So he's locked in now. And then, I just ended up taking another technician, from another company. He's got 25 years experience, which is good because I'm learning a ton from him myself. And so he's bringing a lot to the table that I needed. And he's bringing cause I've never done moles before. He's bringing moles to the table. He has 7B with termite. I have 7B without termite. So now we can do termites. So it's good. He's a good dude.
Awesome. That's have you heard Jonas's story of him being a wrestling coach and hiring someone?
No.
He literally has that same story. But when he was pretty early on, he was a wrestling coach at, I guess, his daughter's high school, or maybe the high school that he went to. And like you said, there was this guy that was a super hard worker, this guy, James. I met him in person just a few weeks ago. Just super hustler, very obsessed, wants to get rich. And Jonas did the same thing for 6 to 9 months. He was just chasing this kid down. Jonas knew he had potential, even though, he was kind of going down the wrong path, was even pitching this kid's parents, eventually brought him on. And now that guy has equity, I think in 3 to 5 of Jonas's locations, and he is crushing it. Some of the locations, they grow from 0 to almost $1 million a year because this guy is running the show. It's incredible. So it seems like that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I worked on this kid even when he was in high school.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna create something together. Because I've had other businesses and failed hard. I used to, I guess, a little bit. Like I worked for Amtrak for 10 years, got out, started flipping houses right before COVID. Once 2x4s went from like $1.98 to $15. I had a couple houses going. I pretty much went broke. I didn't go bankrupt, but I was about there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I got in. Sorry, I got into pest control, but like I've always had that entrepreneurship. I just didn't have the right guidance
Yeah.
of, I always had like I could work hard, outwork anybody, but just never knew what to do or right, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go on that. Like, so how did you learn what was right? And I'm not saying just from the program, but just from anyone, maybe. Are there any other mentors in your life, or maybe just even podcasts or books?
So I do read. I actually just met with a guy, sprayed his house, believe it or not. He owned a garage door company. He owned it for like 4 years. He ended up buying it. They were doing like 10 or 15 grand a month. He sold it 3 years later, and they were doing 500K a month.
Wow.
But this guy has bought and sold a lot, and he's got full training systems, and he's just like, dude, like, sit down with me. I'll teach you how to sell. I'm like, okay. So I've sat down with him the last couple of weeks. A very no bullshit guy, I will say. Like, he's probably one of the most intense guys I've ever sat down with, but um, knows his stuff very well.
What has he taught you?
So you ever heard of oh man, I'm gonna forget it right now. It's the Sadler pyramid.
No.
It's sales. I don't even have my phone, but it's all about selling. So what he did, so he was out of Cincinnati. I'm gonna say the company. He owned like one of the provision companies. So provision franchises. So like a normal garage door company sells garage doors for like $600, like installed. He sells them for $1,800 to $3,000 for the same door. And it's all because of the sales training that his technicians went through. So, we're trying to figure out how it correlates to pest control, but sales is sales. I mean, it's all emotions. It's all, essentially it's not manipulating, but manipulate people.
Yeah. Well, maybe manipulate them to do something good, you could say. Persuade them.
It is a learning how to ask the right questions. Is what it is.
Explain that.
Like, a lot of salespeople will just try to convince you of buying their product. Like, well, yeah, we're the best company. We're going to be here every 13 days, whether you like me or not. I'm going to be your best friend. I'm the coolest guy, compared to, what is like a good way of doing this? Like, let's just say you have carpenter ants. Hey, Mr. Seller, like, you have carpenter ants. Like, what are you going to do if we don't treat this today? Like, how has this affected your life? Essentially going down that beaten path of them talking themselves into it.
Yeah.
Listening to what they say and not necessarily rebuttaling, but, having them sell themselves so you're not selling them.
Yeah.
People don't want to be sold. And I'm still going through it. And I'm not very good at it, but I got techs that are good at it.
Yeah. No, I was just going to mention a quote that I really like, but you kind of already said this, but everyone likes to buy, but no one likes to be sold. Like if it's just a sales guy ruthlessly trying to pitch you and, oh, please buy my stuff. No one likes that. But I mean, someone does want to buy a premium pest control product. These like upper middle class families that can't afford it. And, maybe it's a mom and she wants to keep her kids safe. Like, I mean, of course she's going to buy a premium pest control package. Is she going to lets the dog get hurt or the kids get hurt, or maybe there's some kind of disease going on. Like it's literally a safety protocol. It's needed.
Yeah, for sure. And like to like piggyback, like I'm not the cheapest pest control company, and I don't want to be the cheapest pest control
Hmm.
company because I only really want to deal with the top like 30% of people.
Hmm.
With higher end clients, they don't really call back as much. They understand. They don't even when you tell them the price, they're like, okay. Like they don't even think about it.
Hmm.
It's more of just a relationship thing over a money thing. You don't have to. Well, hey, if you go over there and sell that dog over there, like you can afford me. Like it's, you know.
Yeah.
Um. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing with any market. Even me with my agency, the cheaper clients, the ones that are always looking for a deal and trying to pay the least, they're usually the
Always,
worst. Yeah,
always,
right.
always in
So I guess that's across the board. Something else I wanted to cover, which we'll go back to the marketing stuff, is so you mentioned that you paid an agency a ton of money, didn't even make your money back. You spent 50K, maybe made like 10 or 20K back.
Yep.
So then after that, or maybe even during that period, what has been working for marketing and getting leads?
So I'm huge on LSA right now,
Hmm.
which that was huge with, Jonas and Jake is they only really say to do, Facebook marketing and LSA. So I'm still trying to figure out the Facebook side. I'm running Facebook ads. I'm just not as good as Jake is.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be hard to do, which, but that's like, I have my wife run it. My wife does my social media. She loves doing it. And I have a 14-year-old daughter. She does it as well. So they get to,
Nice.
um, and my wife does the Facebook, but other than that, it's a lot of referrals, still a lot of, cold sales, banging doors.
Hmm.
Uh, we're I just hired a sales guy, and so we're going to really hammer strategic partnerships this winter.
Hmm.
Um, do you know a lot about strategic partnerships?
A good amount. I've talked to Jake a lot about it.
So we're in the midst of trying to figure out the commercial side,
Mm.
because we're going to be in dead of winter. It's here in Michigan. It's going to get a foot of snow and 5 degrees. There's not really any bugs.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we're going to be pushing a lot of mice treatments and strategic partnerships. Plus, I'm hoping LSA doesn't close down or shut down, or not shut down, but slow down.
Yeah.
Um, I'm running probably about 9,000 a month in LSA right now.
Okay. Nice.
$55 a conversion. So
That's not bad. Whoa,
that is, if I
wait, wait.
could 100,000, I would. I literally every week, well, for the amount that I'm trying to spend every week is 20,000. They
Mhm.
just won't take it.
Yeah. No, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I've witnessed this with a lot of clients and people in the program that I talk to. It seems like Google will specifically, or it'll take a certain percentage of whatever you give the budget. So you should actually at least like double what you want to give it. Some people I've even seen will set it to like $1 million a week or whatever. So, but
Yeah.
it will never obviously spend that full amount. It's different than Google Ads, right?
Wait, so it does half of what you want to spend?
Not exactly. It could be even worse than that. Obviously, like that example of $1 million a week.
Yeah.
It's it would be much less than that because there's only a certain amount of demand in the market.
Yeah.
So, and LSAs are a little bit more selective and stuff. I want to go a little bit deeper on referrals. How are you getting those?
So I do the clicky. Do you know what clicky?
Yeah, yeah. I just interviewed the founder, Kendall
Oh.
Hines.
Huh. Um, that works okay. I'm not the best at it. So after every single appointment, I bring out a sheet. And on the sheet, it has what people can make. Hey, 1 to 5 referrals, you can make $50 a referral, all the way down to if you want to make 10 grand a month. And then on the other side of the sheet, it says, hey, you're going to get a text from an 844 number. It's going to ask for a Google review because I do the Bravo as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're going to ask for a Google review. You could tip the technician if you want. And then like we hammer the referral side, like, hey, do you know anybody that wants some pest control?
Hmm.
So that, and just a lot of property managers know a lot of property managers. And so especially since that big account that I landed, that is huge in the market. Cause I do Lansing, but I'm mostly Ann Arbor and surrounding.
Hmm.
Um, just saying the name of that company, everybody's like, oh, you do them? So that really helps out as well. 'Cause, I mean, it's $1 billion company.
Wow.
It's massive.
And how did you land them?
Cold sales.
How did you approach them? Was it a cold call or in person?
No, in person. So so in that little area, it's 6,000 units and 20 apartment complexes. I just kept rotating the property managers until somebody gave me let me do a free treatment. Like,
Mm.
come on. Like, what's it going to hurt? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody using sucks. Like, I know they suck. Like, everybody in the world knows they suck.
Yeah.
So,
Dang. Okay, so you were just pitching a free treatment, and eventually that worked. How many people did you have to pitch?
well, every property manager probably about 5 times. It took probably
Okay.
5 months to get in there. But then once one gave me an opportunity, then they're like, okay, we'll at least put you in the system, which that was a whole nother problem.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about like vendor cafes or like these third party?
Oh no, not much.
Okay. Well, for for them to do like your W-9 insurance, like it's all got to go through this third party. Well, that took a while as well. So this one that I um was doing that gave me the opportunity was just paying me by credit card every time I'd go in there
Hmm.
because they wanted me because of the company they're using couldn't get rid of their issue.
Hmm.
So I was getting rid of their issue before I even was allowed, before anybody else even knew I was there. Essentially, they were not allowed to do what they were doing, but it worked. And then once I got in, they pretty much just called all the other ones.
Hmm.
And then
Dang. Okay.
all their buddies. Yeah, it went like rapid fire.
So you knock one domino and the rest fall.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. Well, cool, man. I think it's been a great show. We'll start to wrap it up here. I've got one more question for you, and that is, what is your message for the other pest control owners out there? What do you want to tell them? What do you think they need to know?
I think they need to know that it's going to work, but
Hmm.
you're going to have to work it.
Hmm.
It is a lot of work. I didn't know how much work this was going to be. I mean, even last week, I pulled 2 all-nighters last week just to get stuff done so the technicians could have their stuff fixed. Um, it's a grind. But the and I have no like the end's not in sight for me yet because I essentially just pay myself a very little
Mhm.
amount of money. Like, yeah, I made 70K, but I pay myself 1%, not
Mm.
1%, but like 2% for
Yeah.
the month. Like, don't take your money out before you can really see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you need to grow this. I mean, this industry is massive, and you can win in this, but you really need to, I guess, be smart about it,
Mm.
but just keep pushing.
Amen, bro. Yeah, that's what Jonas says a lot, especially with people in the program. It's like he might do some one-on-one consulting with people, and he's like, "Well, dude, why are you taking out like 150 grand a year for yourself? Like, obviously you're not growing because you're not reinvesting."
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're doing that really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I pay myself very little. My wife doesn't like that.
But eventually, because you see the bigger vision, you said you're going for like $100 million.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how big I wanted this until Jonas told me he wanted $100 million. And then I heard him talk the other day and he's like, well, I want 100 million in revenue. And you're like, well, now I got to do 100 million in revenue. So now it's just the race to the top. I got to beat him. And if
Mm.
Clark Pest Control can be bought up 500 million, why can't I? Or why can't they? Like it can be done if someone else can do it.
No, I love that, man. Yeah, no, I mean, like, what's the difference between you and Jonas? You just gotta work hard, keep going at it, keep reinvesting, stay obsessed. Love that, man. No, I love that mentality, and I've been witnessing that with a lot of the successful pest control owners, but just successful people that I've been meeting in general. It's like
Yeah.
you just have to be obsessed. You have to want it so bad, man.
And you're gonna miss a lot of your kids' stuff to do it.
Mm.
That's like my wife is the most gracious person with me. Like, cause I'm out most nights, 9, 10 o'clock, still, you know, still treating, cause I still have a truck that I'm treating with. And she's like, well, you have 2 techs, you can just push them on them, or like, maybe, I don't know, push out a day. I'm like, yeah, but they need treated today. That's why I'm getting the business. That's how I beat out my competitors is speed. So, but there'll be a time where I'll be able to sleep in, maybe a little bit. Maybe not. I'm not really a sleeping in kind of guy, but at least, at least midday, take my wife out to lunch. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, that's what it takes, man. And most people aren't willing to do that. So that's why you've seen so much success so early. So cool, man. No, I think it's been a great show. Like I said, your story is super interesting, and it's incredible how you've grown so fast. I think you're trending to grow to a pretty exponential rate, or pretty exponential level. So it's really cool to see, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you, seeing your journey. And where can people find you and connect with you on social media and stuff?
Well, that's funny. I don't really do social media. My wife, I have it. My wife runs it. I just don't know how to do it. I do Facebook. You can look me up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the handle. I don't know. Is there a handle on Facebook?
Or yeah, people usually look up your name. So I think you're Nicholas Rustler.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Other than that, I don't really know how to like comment back or post.
No, all good, man. Yeah, just if someone sends a friend request, try to
Yeah.
friend
I
them
can
back.
put my email or my phone number on here. I don't really care.
Yeah, sure. If you want to share it, and maybe if other owners want to text you.
Yeah. My phone number is 517-990-7399. And then my email is office@Honorable Pest Control.
Awesome. Cool. And anything else you'd like to plug or promote?
If you guys know anybody that needs pest control in Michigan, send them my way.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I appreciate you coming on the show, Nick. Thank you for your time. And yeah, this has been fun.
Cool. I appreciate it, brother.
Mhm.
Yep. Thank you.